Good afternoon, everyone. It's March 30th, and it's a celebration of reflection for this month of March and this week as we celebrate Holy Week, as we celebrate and remember, the Jesus Christ in today. So I hope you're doing well today in your space, whatever you are currently. Maybe you're at home, maybe you're in the province, maybe you're somewhere else right now, and you're reflecting on life, you're reflecting on the things that have been and what you're doing right now and what the future holds for you. And welcome, welcome, welcome. We're still continuing on with coffee traditions around the world. And one of the things that we're talking about is sharing to you what are the common practice in the other part of the world specific to coffee. And I'm going to share to you what we do here in the Philippines as well, and kind of learn from all of these traditions from different countries and what we're doing as well. As if we take a look at tradition and perspective, there are some commonalities on how people or other countries do it. And I think it's a beautiful way for us to be able to put things in perspective and just explore what is it that allows us to enjoy a cup of coffee. Of course, you're watching us here at Brewing Live, and then we are at the Coffee Republic Facebook page, and we are also live in YouTube, our YouTube channel, Coach AI Connect. And well, during Brewing Live, which is at 12 noon, we talk about different topics that would just allow you to enjoy and savor the moments and, kind of explore opportunities, explore perspective, explore ideas and thoughts that you can utilize for you to be able to live a better life. And also, you can pass this on to your children as you go along. And if you take a look at coffee, for example, if you take a look at how you enjoy coffee, especially in the morning, what is it the tradition that you're following? Well, what do you do most common as you drink coffee? Are you someone who drinks coffee in preparation for a day? Like me, I would take some coffee, prepare some coffee for me to be able to jumpstart my day as I work on my life coaching profession, and I also try to plan and also implement the things that I wanted to do in my life. But how about you? How are things in your life right now? Are things strong? Is it sweet? Are things in your life right now served in small cup? Is it in big cups? Are you overwhelmed? Or are you just someone who's just putting, sitting, stepping aside and just allowing things to pass by? Or you're the ones who's really in there taking a look at it, taking control, and doing all of the things that you can for you to be able to move forward. So today I'm going to talk about the power of Cuban Cafecito. Yeah, and it's Cafecito. That's what we're going to talk about in the traditional Cuban drink. Or maybe you've heard about this. Maybe you've tried the Cuban Cafecito. It's a Cuban coffee drink. And there are different kinds of coffee drink in Cuba, right? There's a Cafe Cubano, which or a Cuban, and this is a type of espresso soft coffee drink that were first developed in Cuba after Italians arrived in the country. So that's what I'm going to share with you this afternoon. And the Capicito or the Cafe Cubano or the Cuban coffee beverage is made by a sweetening shot of demerara sugar. So that is a demerara sugar, which is done during the coffee brewing process, right? So if you think about cafe cubano or cafecito, that is where the process is. There is sugar in there. I'm going to share to you later why sugar is one of the ingredients being part of this coffee. And there are variations of this method, which includes traditional, which is the demerara sugar, which is added into the vessel into which the espresso will drip, so the sugar and espresso mix during brewing, which is said to create the smooth and quality taste. It creates that when you have seen or when you process this, when they're creating the espresso, then eventually the drip, you will have sugar. I saw a video on the way that the Cuban cafecito is being created. Is what they do is they would have this what you call it, it's like a coffee, it's like a cup that when you put it in high heat, what will happen is when it boils, you have water there, then you have some filters with the coffee, and every time it boils, the drip would go up. So that's how it works, right? How it works. And what they would do is they would get 3 tablespoons of sugar. They put it in a small cup, and they would add some coffee, fresh brewed coffee in there. Then we would mix that and so on and so forth up until it kind of infused together. And when they're done with the espresso, they would put that in the cup and mix that together. So if you think about it, right, if you have a tooth, then this is exactly worth your while. But for some, of course, like me, I'm transitioned towards making my having less sugar in my life, less sugar in my circulation. So it's something that you would really have, or you would be able to enjoy. Now, the unique flavor of cafecito is created due to the heat of the first layers. That's what happened when I shared to you a while ago during the espresso coffee, which is called the hydrolyzing sucrose, yeah, which is the sugar water, causing a taste that differs from the taste created by just adding sugar at the end. So this is a different process, because what we usually do when we create, or we prepare coffee, is you would have that brew, right? You would brew the coffee mix, then you input the sugar. This one, it's completely in reverse. What would happen is every time you would put the hot coffee in there, then you would have the sugar, then you would have a different taste. You would stir that thoroughly, creating that light brown paste. That is what happens. And the rest of the espresso is added, resulting in what is called espumita. Yeah, espumita, or a light brown foamy layer sitting atop of the beverage. So how many of you can relate with that? When you mix it, you have that foamy coffee and that foamy taste of sugar in there. So if you're a sweet tooth, then that's exactly for you. Now, the process is very simple. I shared a while ago. You would fill the creamer cup or a small cup with your desired amount of granulated sugar. Then you would taste. Yeah, you put in there. Hello, Coach Joanna. Thank you for joining. You could pack the espresso in the machine like normal and get ready to pull your shot. And as you start your shot, the first couple of drops in your shot, you would put that directly over the sugar cup. Then again, this is separate, right? You have one coffee, you will have one mug for your coffee, then you have another one for your sugar. Then as you continue with the process, what will happen is you would remove this, and eventually you would put that rest of the espresso there. Then you quick mix, then you would have some froth in there, or some bubbles in there as you go along, which is thick and which just makes the thing sweet. Now, Cubans, if you take a look at the culture of Cubans, and just what I've shared a while ago with the Cuban Cafecito. Yeah, Cuban Cafecito. Yeah, depende kung paano mo i-pronounce. Cubans are very fond of sweet. That's why if you research what the Cuban Cafecito is, they would have this you know, 3 tablespoon of sugar, and they're just fond of it. They also have this cake, which is special treat normally reserved for birthdays, and they also have ice cream in a special treat, which is a national obsession. So Cubans like their food, their coffee very sweet. Now, in a Cuban, if you take a look at the Cuban tradition, specific to related to coffee and tradition overall, they have a similar tradition as we have in the Philippines. Like in Cuba, family is everything, right? Family is everything. The most important Cuban tradition that you should be aware of, maybe you're planning to go to Cuba, maybe you have a friend, and maybe in the future you met someone who's from Cuba, that you should be aware that family is everything in Cuba. And what they do in Cuba, the way that they organize it, the locals organize it, and they will live their lives around their relatives, which create the sense of belongingness, respects towards and respect towards them and others, which is a remarkable way of doing things, right? Now, if you take a look at in the Philippines, we have a similar setup. We have a similar way of doing things. What we would do is family is the first. Yeah, that is the most important part of our life. How many of you can connect? If you've grown into a family in which is closely knit, you have your relatives would come in, would join in, they would have this regular get together. I remember the time when I was still young. I was still elementary when my dad was still working in Bicol before he moved to Manila to work. Every week, I think it was every week or every other week, the family would gather together in one house, depending on who is sinuntaya nung araw na yun. And they would cook in that space, and they would just have a conversation with the relatives and with the children. Now, this creates an opportunity to create meaningful connections and enjoy the the moment, and have the children or the magpipinsan have a conversation, create connections, and to go them better. Now, in Cuba, there's also a tradition or a specific custom that's being done in there. Hello, Coach Lynn. Thank you for joining. Now, we're talking about Cuban Cafecito, and I'm relating it towards the value of family in Cuba, and similar here in the Philippines, that there are traditions that's accustomed towards what's going on. Now, in Cuba, specific now, if you are someone who maybe you're someone who is now have a boyfriend or manliligaw ka pa lang, parang si Coach Orville, yun, nanliligaw. What would happen in Cuba is before they even start, kasi usually, di ba, yung courting process, parang after the fact, pag sinagot na, ipapakilala lang. In Cuba, it's very different. It's reversed. What would happen is the girl or the boy would introduce the boyfriend or the girlfriend first before going to, start going out, So here in the Philippines, medyo baliktad. What would happen is the guy and the girl would go out, get to know each other, then eventually become boyfriend or girlfriend. But in Cuba, which I think is a valuable aspect of relationship, is when the guy or the girl met someone, before they start going out, the girl who's courting the guy or vice versa would introduce the person first before they go out. In Cuba, it's called Fidir la Entrada. Yeah. Fidir la Entrada, which is very common. Hello, Coach Nords. Thank you for joining. Which is something that I think, if you take a look at it from my perspective anyway, as someone who is part of a tribe of life coaches, and as part who is part of an environment or a culture in which yung panliligaw, you get to introduce yung nililigawan mo after the fact, right? After the process. But here, it's pre. It's before lumabas sila and they go out, the man or the woman is already introduced to the parents. And I think that is a wonderful cultural norm that we can implement, because as a parent, or maybe as a family member, you would also be able to be part of their journey, and you can help them and guide them. For me, being specific to a parent and learning life coaching skills, I understand the process of them going through this, so that they can get a deeper understanding of the other person before they, decide to sagutin. Yeah. So that's what happened. And thinking about it, this also creates a very close relationship, because as parents, we are now able to understand how our children think, how the background, or what's the background of the other person, the one that's courting them or being courted, and you can guide your children towards making the right decision. It's not for you to be able to, pag may nakita kang pangit na isa, then you would just stop the relationship. No, it's really you facilitating the process of ligawan. Yan. For them to be able to enjoy the process of going through that, and eventually, we can do it together, going out, and finally deciding to get married. Because I think, one of the things I learned from Master Coach A, because Coach Orville, nililigawan si Master E, that the process there would just really allow the other person to be proactive in the courting process, rather than being passive and just letting all pass by. You're really learning more about yourself and developing yourself, which promotes a sense of togetherness and joy. Because you cannot experience joy if you have not gone through a challenging times of growth, right? In any relationship, growth is something that needs to happen. Growth is something that's part of the journey. And it also helps you nurture your mental well-being, because when you go through this, you can tend to understand the person and yourself, and you develop yourself. And in the development stage, you would also, as a partner, eventually come together to support each other in your journey. So for me, I'm 41 years old now, turning 42, been married for 21 years. That is something that I didn't go through, because for me, it's just a passive relationship that I decided, oh, get married. Okay, we had a kid, and that's it. But I've learned that that is not the right way of doing things, because when we skip the process and we don't go through it and understanding what relationship means and what is it looks like for you and the other person, then you eventually would end up with a not so good relationship. So for me, I'm trying to avoid that with my children as much as I can. And the life coaching process would allow the children to go through the process. So how many of you can connect with me? How many of you are parents in here who is your child, preparing, getting ready, na may liligawan or liligawan? Or maybe you're a single person who's thinking, okay, well, I still want to know someone, I still want to get married, but you're thinking, what is it that I want to do? How can I find the Mr. Right, or the Miss Right, or whatever you call it? And I've learned this from the Cuban tradition of starting to introduce the person to your family members or your parents prior to you going out. So that is something that I think, I'm going to share to you as a message for today, is when you choose a partner, when you choose someone, or when your child is going to choose a partner, teach them the value of introducing the person first and helping them, being part of the journey, not to dictate. Okay, please don't dictate what your children like, don't like, but highlight what's important for them and protect them, so that they don't go to an experience of, after a couple of years, they would say, oh, I made a wrong mistake, right? So that is how the process is. Now, shared joy. My topic today is shared joy and the power of Cuban Cafecito. Shared joy for me, that I want to pass on to you, is being able to be in a space in which, of course, you have something in common, right? Something in common and something that's not common. Something in common, of course, it's automatic that you would experience joy in there, right? You would experience happiness, you would experience all of these emotions. But something that's not common, that one removes the joy in the relationship if we don't value the learning, if we don't value the opportunity for growth, if we don't value the perspective that the other person is totally different than you, and you need to go through the process of understanding this person, so both of you can grow, right? Grow as an individual and grow together. That when we choose partnership, it's all about shared joy. And shared joy means that both of you are going through the process. I'm gonna keep on saying about process, right? Keep on highlighting this word process, because in life, everything is a process. You cannot fast track things. You cannot, press the fast forward button. No. You can learn from other people, but you cannot fast forward the process, because you need to become the person that's ready for that relationship. You need to become the person that's ready for that experience. You need to become the person that wants to have this kind of life. And readiness means that you are to get to know yourself better, so that you can go through it, diba, with the experience of joy. Now, there are different stages of joy. And the more that you understand it, the better it is for you to be able to move up to that state, which is bliss. The lowest, the lowest kind of joy is satisfaction. Now, satisfaction means that you are fulfilled with your wishes, you are fulfilled with your expectations or your needs. So that is satisfaction. The second is contentment. Now, contentment means you're satisfied, but you wish more. Yeah, you're content, okay, but you wish more. You want more in life. Happiness is the next stage, which is shows pleasure and contentment. You're okay. Things in your life is pleasurable. You're contented with what you have. The next stage in there is delight. This is what gives you great pleasure. You know, you're able to fulfill the things that you want. You're able to achieve your goal. You're able to have meaningful relationship. But the top level there is bliss. Means it's perfect happiness. It's great joy. It's like in the Garden of Eden that all the things is provided to you. You're able to help others. You're able to help yourself. You're able to grow your family members, and you're just in there in the present moment. So, how many of you have experience in which you are in the present moment and something around you or surrounding you or people around you are chaotic, and that experience steals your joy? How many of you can relate with that? I have that experience. We're going out, you're about to travel, about to go to places, and suddenly this one nuisance comes in, and instead of me just focusing on what is good, I focus on the negatives. I have that. I'm impatient before life coaching. I'm super impatient, especially in time management. I want things to always be on time. When you say 4 o'clock, we go out at 4 o'clock. When we leave at this time, we will leave at this time. That's me before. But I realize that kind of nuances, even a small little bit as it is, steals our ability to enjoy the present. And we know that present is a gift, right? It's a gift. That's why it's called present. You have a gift, and the gift of now must be enjoyed, and that's why it's called in the present. So, how many of you, at least during this Holy Week season, have reflected on what are the things that you do or other people do that steals your joy? What is it that you do or other people do that puts you in a state in which you're not experiencing bliss? And what are the things that you do and other people do that puts you in a state of chaos? Because the more that you're able to reflect on this, the better it is for you to understand what is it that you need to develop, what is it that you need to improve, and what are the things that you need to teach to your children so that you don't become the person that you hate and they don't become the person that you don't wish to be. So I'm going to leave you a question that you can start pondering on, especially today. Um, in the Holy Week tradition, Saturday is it's a days, of course, begin Good Friday and Easter Sunday, and this is where Jesus rested from his work and bestowing redemption to mankind, right? And Saturday is something that will really just allow us to enjoy of what is it that we are doing currently and how we can make the necessary change to move towards creating a better life. So my question to you is, when do you feel most alive and aligned with your authentic self? Yeah, this one is something that you can ask about shared joy. And reflect on the moment and consider how they point towards your true passion and your purpose in life. Because when you understand what you're passionate about and what your purpose in life is, I tell you, everything that you do from now up until the day that God called you would just continue to stay in the present moment, to enjoy the present moment. And enjoying the present moment doesn't need to be so complicated, right? You just need to acknowledge that, hey, you don't feel well, you don't feel good. This is a nuance for me. But now I'm not going to allow anyone to steal that because I know that I am in full control of my behaviors, of my responses. But I acknowledge my emotions, I acknowledge my feelings, but I can do something about it. So I hope you're able to learn something from today, especially learning the Cuban Cafecito and their cultural norms related to the family. And if you are interested to know more about what we are doing and how life coaching has changed my life, I would like to invite you to join us for the ABCs of life coaching. This is going to be a live online class, which is an interactive 2-hour class crafted for coaching enthusiasts who are actively seeking effective tools to facilitate lasting change and transformation. And this learning session, of course, will help you guide by offering a concise, comprehensive overview of the principles and practices, which is essential for you to make an impact in coaching. I've learned that coaching has a powerful way for you to be able to guide your children to make the right decision. And it also helps you create compelling goals and understanding the art of powerful questioning. This one I've developed ever since May 2018, and as you really just help my children make better decisions. And right now, they're now creative entrepreneurs and they have their own business. And if that is something that you have a heart for helping them, I invite you to join us. The next class will be on April 13 with Coach Orville, and April 14 with Coach Lynn. And sa chat box, si Coach Lynn Garcia. And we have another class on April 28 with Coach Rizal. So if you are interested, just feel free to message us here in this page that you would like to book a seat for you to be part and learn how life coaching will help you transform your life and guide your children to create a better life. All right. I'd like to thank you for joining us today and supporting the cause of mental fitness. I invite you for our activities. We're still closed today at CACC Republic, but we're going to be open tomorrow. We're going to be open later at 5 p.m. So we're going to have open mics. So I invite you later for an opportunity to just enjoy the moment. I invite you also for face-to-face community events, including Purposeful Sunday, Parenting Mondays, Kapia Nights on Tuesday, Habits on Wednesday, Prayer Night on Thursday, and 5 Saturday, which is going to be later at open mic. And if you're interested, again, to become a professional service provider, either as a life coach, just connect with Coach Rizal, 09175861661 to learn more about the Co-Actively Co-Create Life Coach Certification Program by Master Coach A. Our class in Tacloban is going to be on April 6 and 7. That's going to be next week. And we have an online class at nighttime on April 17th and 19th. I think this is at 9 p.m. Manila time. So if you're in the other part of the globe and you're working, your time difference is ideal, then join us. Then on class 22 on April 27 and 28, it's going to be face-to-face at the CACC Republic. All right? So join us back again tomorrow for another episode of Brewing Live. It's going to be Coach Nord's Bonding Over Brew, the Art of Swedish Pika. So that's going to be tomorrow. I'll see you again soon. Or maybe I'll see you at the CACC Republic later. Open mic starts at 9 p.m. Have a fruitful week. And I hope you're able to reflect on your life and able to create actions for you to create a better life. And if you're looking for help and support, we're here for you. Just message us or drop by at the CACC Republic later. We are open from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. Once again, this is Coach Shaun, the Life Coach Dad. Maraming salamat for joining us and have a blessed week ahead. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
As a business owner, are you overwhelmed by the need to post beautiful, engaging content every single day? Are you left wondering what to write? Tired of scrolling through stock photos that all start to look the same? Confused by complicated graphic design programs? Rise Up Creatives is here to help. Each month, we give you everything you need to create 31 days of social media content in just 5 minutes a day. Customizable captions, curated lifestyle photos, a drag-and-drop graphic design tool, and the ability to post directly to your social media accounts. No one else empowers you with these 4 resources all in one place. Each month, we help you plan your social media calendar by providing you with 31 image themes and customizable captions so you can quickly and easily create engaging content and grow your following. Simply select the image that works best for your feed or story. Then, copy the caption and customize it to fit your audience. 5 minutes a day. It's that quick. Plus, you'll absolutely love our drag-and-drop graphic design tool. Start from scratch or choose one of our beautiful templates to fit your unique brand. When you're ready to export your design, you can download, email, or post directly to your social media accounts. Here's the truth. Our world needs what you have to offer. Don't let technology or procrastination hold you back. Rise Up Creatives is more than an online resource. We're a community helping you overcome your biggest barriers to reach your greatest goals. We're here to help you rise up and be creative.